Wasn't the note already enough for that? Either way, with that heart now in our possession. Oh, time to go all the way by friend, really? You know what, I'm not even gonna bother with you. Just shoo. I got the flow ability, and I'm flowing the hell out of here. And that means we're right back to the city of a broken dream. Is it really a complete world out there right now that is just in the inky dimension? Like, it's no longer limited to just the studio. We know it's a parallel to the real world, sort of, supposed to be. But does the entire world reset every single cycle? Is breaking the cycle really that bad? Can I hide? Bendy, excuse me, but I'm busy. There's just way too many questions regarding all of this. Either way, Ink Demon, gonna show up? No? Good, scared you away. Very happy about that. Was this where I was trying to go? I think so. Yes, friend. I went all the way back. I went to a whole lot of trouble and, well, aggravation in regard to the Ink Demon. I got you your snack. I hope you're happy with this. It's gruesome, but thank God that the projectionist is not causing any trouble. Thank you. He really isn't that bad. Although that is just disturbing. Yeah, I certainly want to open you up. Where is this going? Definitely a locker full of goodies. I will take that. You and you are also mine. Hiding spot and a safe and sound locker. Hi. Well, I'm definitely happy with that schematic. But what kind of schematic would that be? Because I'm not complaining. I was expecting a little bit more treasure, just maybe. But a schematic in the long run, absolutely very useful. But yeah, where exactly was the nearest station where I could actually do something with that? Because that, right now, is making me wonder. Seriously, where the hell did I find one of those? I found one right in the previous area. Or the area before that. Quick trip through the ink and back. I am sure that there was an easier place to go to in regards to finding one of these upgrade stations, but honestly I wasn't exactly able to remember where the hell they were. So the first one that sprung to mind was the one that would be right over here with our friends. I'm sorry, but gliding is very much against the rules. Same goes to you. No gliding in this area. This is a no glide zone. Thank you. Goodbye. Same goes for you. Knock it off. Oi. Knock it off. You were a beefy boy. Either way, as I was trying to say... It was over here, right? I bloody well remember seeing you. Now please tell me I have the resources for this. I have got the resources, thank God. Gent Coil Stun Mod. Double charge Gent Pipe will stun keepers on impact. What? I will take that, yes please. That's going to be useful if I'm gonna have to be dealing with more keepers. Yeah, stun pipe. Disorient keepers for a fast getaway. Use a stun pipe to escape the clutches of the keepers. Double charge the gent pipe to overload the keeper on contact. Use tap twice to activate when the gent pipe is charged up. I can only stun a keeper twice as a result. Also, why does it feel like this kind of makes my gent pipe weaker? Like it no longer has a smashy bit on top of it. Now it just has a very fragile pole on top. I'm assuming it still works just as well against the normal lost ones, but yeah. We, 1, double charge, and then smack. And then we stun the keeper. And then we can do that one more time for full strength. I guess that's nice. Am I going to use it as much as I probably should be using it? That I don't know, but nonetheless, it's a fancy little upgrade, and I'm happy with it. Which means, time to backtrack and redo all the backtracking. Back to the end. And so we're back right where we kinda don't want to be. All things considered. Really, all things considered. Are you still here? No, you're not. Well, Heidi, it was fun seeing you. Is our big friend doing okay? And our big friend is also gone. Well, I guess that's fair. Can always stick around. But that's fine. Is there any more stuff here? Yes, you refilled, you restocked. Always nice. A little bit of food, which I don't need. It's fine. Either way, I kinda want to try out the whole stun thing. But at the same time, I do think that I kinda need to actually keep that in case of actual emergencies. Although that again begs the question, will I be able to remember the thing in actual emergencies? Carly, you have left me alone for such a long time, and now you start bothering me again? God! If only I could stun you out of existence. Ah! Never should have opened that crate. Never. Oh god. Either way, yeah, I'm gonna wait till you make the loop around, and then we can make our way across to the door that's supposed to be open right now, so... I don't know where I can recharge my pipe. I'm not sure. I don't think it was up there, so no matter what, I'm gonna keep the charge in my stun baton right now. And keep it for emergencies if I can remember to use it, because that's really what's gonna come down to. If you start charging me, then I don't know if I'll be in time to actually get the hell away. So, here we go. Flow to safety. Flow to safety, flow to safety. There was no hiding spot here. There's no hiding spot here. No hiding spot at all. Nope. Honestly, you're truly a bother. Alright, moving on. Let's try that again. Was there really no hiding spot here at all? Truly, no hiding spot. I mean, I could charge the pipe there. Yeah, there was absolutely nothing. I should have been inside of the room with the keeper in order to find a spot. Do I have to worry about that? Deep 6 level badge required beyond this point. Could decontamination have worked against the ink demon? Are there gonna be keepers here? There's hiding spots. Just fine. No butcher gang. Happy with that. Subject 418. Yeah, so all of these are supposed to be Cyclebreakers. And I'm already going off the beaten path. Places where I probably shouldn't go. Bertram? Are you alive? How are you alive? Do I want to know? I probably don't even want to know. Yep, nope, definitely don't want to know. Also, while I'm here, I will take that, thank you. So, were you a Cyclebreaker, or? Can we look at subject 418? Very sorry I'm interrupting, Don't call the keepers. We'll be fine. Sammy? That's Sammy. The mask. Oh, this is... God. Okay. Henry Stein was stuck in his own cycle. But at one point, Joey Drew decided to be kind because Alison Pendle was showing Joey kindness, and Joey thus ended up inserting Alice Angel to help Henry Stein out. That's nearing chapter 4 of the first game, when Alice actually came to our rescue and basically stopped the evil Alice. But the cycle, no matter what, even though Alice Angel was inserted, it kept on going. It was always a cycle, and even though we showed the Ink Demon the end, the cycle never ended, it just started anew. So what does that mean in that regard for the characters like Sammy Lawrence over here? Do they regain any memories of what happened in the past, or are they just also reset to the starting point? Why would you be a Cyclebreaker? God, this is really confusing. And more dead bodies. That has got to be the head of the projectionist. It's got to be. Oh, I think I get it. You were part of some of the people that got Henry Stein on his track towards the end to reset the cycle using the end reel. Projectionist same as well. Bertram as well. All part of the cycle. The Keepers and Wilson took them out of the equation so that they would not happen and the cycle thus would freeze in place. That's how this has happened. At least that seems like a very good theory that I've got going on right now. I kind of hope that is actually true. 414, who would that be?
Excuse me. Sir? Can you help me?
You must be really lost to be asking me for help.
Henry?
I'm just looking for answers. About the Keepers, Wilson, the cycle, anything could help.
What's your name?
Audrey. What's yours?
Honestly, I've almost forgotten. My name is Henry.
Huh.
Have you been a prisoner long?
When the Keepers think you're a threat to their plans, they lock you away. Forever. Still, it's given me time to think. Things like, if you haven't eaten in years, you might not be human.
Why would you be a threat to them?
I'm what they call a Cyclebreaker. Once upon a time, I knew how to start the cycle over. And when that happens, everything begins again. Completely new. Obviously, Wilson and the Keepers don't want that to happen.
How did you do it?
Reset the cycle? Turns out the Ink Demon himself is the key. This world is his, but even he must obey its rules. For now, at least. If you can get him to look at something very specific, it will reset everything.
What is it?
It's just a reel of film, labeled with the words, "The End." I can see it in my mind every day. They keep it upstairs in the pit.
I'll see if I can break in and steal it. Maybe, if I reset the cycle, we could make things better for everyone here.
And what about you?
I just want to go home.
So did I. Good luck, Audrey. If you need me again, you know where to find me.
Thank you, Henry. That's probably not a good noise. I still want to check the upstairs area. Well, that's probably not a good noise. Okay. Definitely got more questions right now. Okay, so... is stopping the cycle what Wilson and the Keepers want to do? Is that actually a bad thing? I mean, yes, this place is deteriorating. Maybe that means it's a little bit bad. But hasn't this place been deteriorated from the very start already, even in Henry's version of things? I mean, I'm not entirely sure if what Wilson and the Keepers are trying to do in regards to stopping the cycle from repeating over and over is actually such a bad thing. We right now say make things better for people here by resetting the cycle, but then no one will remember again and everything starts anew. All those people that are trapped. Sure, we can make things better, but eventually we'll again reach the point where things must reset. So what's the grand idea there? Isn't it better for the cycle to just be broken like the Keepers want? I am really unsure. Either way, Sammy, you keep on playing. I'm going to check out all the other cycle breaks. I thought there would be more cycle breakers up here. There definitely are. Are you making noise? You are not making noise. The fact that you are here does not make me happy. What are you? Security lock for something? We probably don't want to touch the security lock right now. Because please have your identification ready. That goes even further. The pit. Top level badge required. Yeah. What am I hearing? Oh, that's just you. Okay. Subject 928. Who the hell are you? Are you worth walking with angels? That's supposed to be the evil Alice Angel. Where is she? Why is the light busted? Yeah, not happy with that. Definitely not. The seeing tool. Oh, how I would want to have that. Mostly because I'm curious what... I want the axe. I want the axe. Yes, an axe can't stun Keepers, but... it's an axe. And I see you. Yoink. This is kind of cool, but... just raises so many questions. Either way, the pit... Alice Angel not being here. Yeah. Because, yeah, indeed, if things were completely reset, that means she is around here too. Does it mean... where is Boris? We have not seen Boris in all of this. Yes, the good Alice actually has Boris and everything is fine with them, but... no further Boris. And likewise, there's a hole over there. I can't exactly open you up. Or you. Well, it's only one way forwards. Gonna have to find the end reel. Into the pits we go. Which I hope won't be too bad of a thing. It's probably gonna be a bad thing. It's very likely going to be a bad thing. There's some point where I get stuck on nothing. Like, I get stuck on wires in this case. How? It is too quiet. Also, I really expected there to be at least a couple of Keepers around here. Can I flow through that? No, I can't. Only with clear vision can I flow. What's that? Oh, that's you. It is way too quiet and it's keeping me on edge. I don't trust anything right now. There's always hope. Yeah, apparently. Do you open up? No, you don't. So we have to go to the top of the pit in order to try and find the end reel. Can't be too difficult, right? Is that milk? Fresh milk. That's a memory? Why would that be a memory? A milk carton. For growing up strong and healthy. Add some chocolate for a snack enjoyed by both young and old. Why is this a memory? Is it a... I really don't know. Really don't know. Either way. Yeah, this is probably not gonna be as easy as we might hope it is. Charge up the stun baton. Charge up the stun baton. Look behind you. Oh. Okay, charge up the stun baton. Do you have... Okay, you only have 2 arms. For a moment I thought you had a third. Charge up the stun baton. Smack him in the face. Right now, we have the tool for it. The one time we can make proper use of it, we don't make use of it. We deserve whatever happens to us now.
A savior comes at last.
Wilson?
Rest yourself, Audrey. You're still weak. The Keepers can be relentless to strangers. But there's nothing to fear as long as I'm with you. You're safe now.
I want
You did
answers.
this to me. You brought me here. Turned me into this thing. This doesn't make sense. I've never done anything to you.
Open your eyes and look around you. None of this makes sense. Drawn walls, nightmarish creatures, an ancient studio that died out almost 30 years ago. It's all fiction, utter nonsense. And yet, in here, it exists. It breathes. It flourishes. Reality, guided by its master's pen. The foundation for a new reality. We can bleed into our own. Just think of it. Anything we create in here, we can release out there. But first, this world must be controlled, made safe. These things, these angels and demons, are they really life? Or are they just stains? Old mistakes ready to be cleansed away for newer, greater things.
What do you want from me?
I need your help to save my father's life.
What?
This is our start. We'll talk more once we're safely inside.
I don't trust a single thing you say. Chapter 5, The Dark Revival. Yeah, friend, definitely got questions in regards to why the hell did you even drag me in here? You need my help. What do you need my specific help for? What can I do that others can't? Likewise, how did you get inside of this ink world and get out of it and get back in? Like, you're the actual Wilson right now, right? Or are you just the version of Wilson that you create in this world to portray you? But that also not makes sense because Joey Drew made a version of himself in this world who's not Joey Drew, who's not the man himself. I have too many questions. But I don't trust you. Yeah, you need my help. Is this our stop? We're still going. I do not trust you in the slightest. I will take this.
Stay close. This place isn't as safe as it once was.
Signal towers aren't nearby. Signal towers have disabled my abilities. Signal towers are nearby, and thus my abilities have been disabled. Can I? Well, Wilson, you worked with me. You know what kind of person I am. You know how bloody nosy I am, and there's absolutely nothing here. Well, that's fine. Wilson, you created the Keepers. You created many of the nightmares that are in this place, right? Are we in Little Heck? Surely we're in Little Heck right now. We're definitely in trouble, though. I'm tempted to charge my stun baton. Really tempted to smack you in the face. Can I? Yeah, I can. Probably a mistake to walk here. But at the same time, I'm not supposed to be here. And I sure as hell am not exactly happy with Wilson. And we can't go here, can only open that from the other side. Okay. Excuse me, passing through. Don't mind me. I'm not a subject. If anyone is a subject, it's you, you horrified experiment. Where did Wilson go? He probably went there. Wilson really should keep a closer eye on me, because I sure as hell am not going where he wants me to go. I don't trust that story of him trying to save his father at all. Old Track 77 is a quiet place these days. Ever since that terrible crash a few years back, people don't like to hang around. Too many strange things keep happening on this platform. Last week, one of the railmen told me they had reports of some train going through that wasn't on the schedule. There were no figures standing in the cars, staring through... Well, there were figures standing in the cars, staring through the windows. But it never stopped to let no one off. Just kept on going straight through. Some say it was the Silver Lane Express, the train that crashed. Kitty Thompson. Yeah, that'd be a little bit terrifying for sure. I am right now way too tempted to just wander about the place. Because you know there's going to be secrets, and I can't open you up. This place has certainly been locked tight in regards to security. Okay. I'm gonna save. I'm just gonna walk in this direction, see what happens. No. There's a wall. Of course there's a wall there. That probably means there's a wall on this side as well. I hate how I can't use my abilities. I would love to use my abilities. Makes me feel safe. And nothing here as well. Just a dream and a pencil. Yeah, same as before. Okay. Well, that's nice. So that takes us back to here. Keeper still standing there. Nothing wrong. Well, that's just rude. Okay, this is probably a waste. That's definitely a waste. That's supposed to stun you. Fine. I was trying to save him. It is what it is. Can still stun one more keeper if required. I'm sorry, I'm just playing with your toys. Is that okay?
The demon's evil continues to spread. This world has begun to shudder.
I don't trust you, Bendy.
Quiet.
But I also don't trust you. Nothing.
It was nothing.
Almost there. Just a quick stop. Won't take but a moment.
How did you brought color into this world? And you're not joining me. How did you bring color into this world? Keep a friend, yeah. Weapons are not allowed beyond this point. Please place any weapons and contained ink on the holding desk to the right.
The subject will stand in the designated location.
What if the subject wants to be addressed with Audrey, the name? Maybe start with that? This is just so weird. How did Wilson bring color into this world? Maybe with the help of the Gent Corporation, but... Oh, I don't have... I want that Tommy gun. I want that Tommy gun. I definitely want that Tommy gun. Not entirely sure how useful it will be, but... Okay, fine. The subject will stand in its designated position. Happy? Not to you, it merely stuns you.
Subject will submit all weapons for further screening. Disarm now.
I can't use my abilities. You want me to remove my weapon? This is a bad idea. Grab the Tommy gun. Shoot the keeper.
Remain still for examination.
I am not liking this.
The subject is cleared for entry.
Can I grab my weapon again, please? Thank you. Ugh. I'm not liking this at all. Do we really have to go through that?
Civilized world. How
Civilized?
signal towers. They nullify the ink demon's powers so he cannot pass them. I wish I could say I invented them, but it seems our friends at the Gent Corporation had a demon problem of their own long ago.
Yeah, they did. So that's indeed actually true then. They indeed did try and make Bendy reality. Are you that vain that you made yourself that portrait of you slaying the ink demon? Well, that is totally untrue. Also, who's your friend? Greetings.
And now, my dear, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot to prepare. We'll talk later, I promise. Besides, you must be very tired. A quick rest will do you good. Betty will show you to your room. She's my housekeeper, among other things.
You never actually killed the ink demon, did you?
Oh, of course he didn't.
No, he's too powerful to destroy. So we sealed him away, trapped him in a different form. One that was smaller, harmless.
And what did you then
Bendy.
do with him?
It was a fitting prison, although he seems to have found a way to free himself. But enough talk. We'll deal with that soon enough.
There's some nice fresh blankets all laid out for you. You'll be dreaming in no time.
Wait, Wilson? One more thing. If you needed my help, why didn't you just ask?
Why abduct me?
Would you have believed me?
You could have tried.
Come along, and no more dawdling. This way now.
I certainly love to dawdle. Are you really telling me that you were so creative using the towers to stop Bendy's powers, just using the Gent Corporation's previous toys to actually subdue him? You made the Keepers. The Gent Corporation did not do that. You did that. You got the ability to trap Bendy, the Ink Demon, inside of a smaller version, and then you let him roam free? You said it was 211 sort of days since the Ink Demon was killed, which was an outright lie. Are you telling me that you were like, oh, he's still small after a week time? Yeah, we can just let him run free. Just let him rummage around the studio somewhere, which is totally safe and sound. I question your logic, Wilson.
You're here at last. It's so exciting finally having you with us. Now, to give you some bearings, we're currently standing in the south wing. Wilson's laboratory is downstairs, and then there's the north wing.
What's with the north wing? Because I like to go to the north wing and be a nosy bugger. You know, the usual. I mean, did Wilson say make yourself at home? You got better doorknobs. Okay, not exactly better. They're still massive, but they're not flat. Which is at least a positive over the real world, apparently. The library. Are we going here? Or can I just rummage about the place still? Why are you locked off? And the laboratory, which we can't yet open. Alright, and what was your name again?
The Ink Demon got
Bendy.
in there a while ago, and ever since, we've had to keep the north wing locked up tight. I'm afraid it's fallen into ruins by now.
Oh dear.
Those juicy, lovely books gone to waste. Only keepers go there these days, and they'll tear you apart limb from limb if Wilson isn't with you. So, mind your distance, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah. Don't go near the keepers without Wilson. Got it. Look, can't Wilson just say, don't hurt me? Like, give that message to them? Surely they'll be able to listen, right?
Not very often I have guests to look after, especially one I can actually talk to. Almost everyone here either can't speak or they're completely mad.
Yeah. So, is this my room then? This feels too safe.
All right, here we are. Best room in the house.
Well, best guest room, because surely Wilson kept the best room for himself, I'd imagine.
See where I sleep. Ugh. But this room, oh, just perfect. I saw to every detail. Bed is clean. The bathroom is on the left.
Thank you.
Sorry about the stains. I did try my best to get them out.
Well, this is an inky world. It happens. Yeah, I guess thank you? For sleeping drafts, pinch of salt, cocoa powder, Camilla, soybeans. Gilson? What the hell is Gilson? Mix everything in a glass and then drink with exactly 3 sips of water. Okay, we shall not drink anything over here, right now, because we are definitely gonna fall asleep when we don't want to. The mug and a maiden? Okay, cute, adorable. This feels too good to be true. And I can't go to the bathroom. I shall try and sit, see what happens. Anything? Because I do love my throne. Although being Lord Amok has... Lord Amok had a better throne. It's probably also was just a chair, I can't exactly remember, but it's... I miss my subjects, okay? So, now what?
Did you have any questions?
Yeah.
Is it always night here?
It's always dark, if that's what you mean. For as long as I can remember.
Are you very old?
No. As far as I understand it, I'm something quite new. Although, I didn't turn out the way I was supposed to. One in a long line of failed experiments. But Wilson will keep trying.
And do you trust Wilson?
This is the realm of the ink demon. The shadow hangs over us all. I don't trust anyone. But Wilson takes care of me, keeps me safe. He once said I remind him of something he called his mother. Tell me, is that a good thing, where you two are from?
I'm not sure. I don't think I ever had one.
Well, no matter. Now, I was told to make sure you get some sleep once you got here. So get nice and comfy and relax. I left something on the table that might just help you nod off. It's my own recipe. Works very fast. Just follow the instructions. Carefully.
Well, you're not forcing it upon me, so...
Of course.
Thanks.
If you need anything else, I'll come straight away. I'm always up.
Well, okay then. Can I leave? I can't leave. So in case I need anything, I'm doomed. Okay, meanwhile, clearly we gotta look for the ingredients right now, I guess. Can we go to the bathroom? Can't go to the bathroom.
Gilson. What's a Gilson?
Yeah, I got no clue. That's exactly what I'm wondering. What the hell is a Gilson? Is it in the book? The Mug and the Maiden, Volume 1, by Sir Wilton Moore. Chapter 1, The Dangerous Forest. Once upon a time in a faraway land there lived a mug of cheese. There was not an ordinary mug of cheese as you would find in any home or kitchen of the age. No, this mug of cheese was a distant descendant of one of the 3 grand flagon kings. The same kings who had charged on horseback to defend their capital city during the unforgettable conquests of the previous century. To which of these flagon kings he hailed from, the mug was unsure. But there still was honor and courage in his heart. His family line heralded of deeds long past that had forever changed the course of Stoop history. Did he have a name? Of course! All mugs of cheese have names. This is common knowledge. But just as every fruit bat is really named Stanley. The mug of cheese was named Richter the Cracked. What a name, I can hear you say. Cracked indeed. This mug of cheese bears no damage that I can see. Fall silent, you small-minded bass, for therein lies our intriguing story. Let's begin at the beginning. It was a hot winter day in the forest. One of those days where everything is dull brown. The lake was still, the birds had shut up, and the trees were but sticks in the overcast sky, save for a lone pine that skimmed the clouds above like a painter's brush. It was on this day that Mr. Darble Mouse was in a hurry. He had just been named as Vermin of the Year by the Society Brethren that live underneath the old church, and it was customary for the honoree to bring some fine port wine cheese to the ceremony. There were only hours to locate some of the precious cuisine. Fortunately, Mr. Darble Mouse knew exactly where to find it. The dark cellar below the governor's castle. But unfortunately, as he approached the loose plank of wood in the old wall, he failed to realize that the heavy rain that had come during the night had passed moisture into the plank, making it far heavier than usual. Thus, when he pushed the plank with all his might, it lifted just enough to push his body only halfway through. But his strength just couldn't contend with the weight of the plank, and his arms failed. The plank snapped back down, crushing him flat. Well, that's gruesome. I want to know how this continues. But here there's a lot of pages. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's a whole lot of pages. Well, you know what? I'll probably make this an extra episode. Or we're doing it right now because we can, and then we end the episode right after. After all, this story is not about Mr. Darble Mouse. Or had you forgotten the mug of cheese already? I can see how you might connect the two. Mr. Darble Mouse was, after all, looking for cheese, and we were talking about a mug of cheese just before. Sadly, I must inform you that there is no relation between Richter the Cracked and the rodent who is now nothing more but smooshed guts inside the wall. Except that there is, for it was the death of Mr. Dorbalmouse that started all the trouble. You see, when things die, they tend to smell, and that's just what Mr. Dorbalmouse did. But that's not all. His body, pinned between the outside and inside of the wood wall, had made a perfect passage for the hot winter wind. The wind therefore carried the stench of his decaying mouse carcass deeper into the governor's home. Like a snaking, twisting wisp of terror, the smell settled into a little tavern near the courtyard of the castle. Here soldiers would spend many long hours when there was no bloodlust to soothe with battle. Strong ales and red meats filled the menu from back to front at this rustic medieval greasy spoon. Mostly, the customers came to look upon the barmaiden, Maxine, who was actually named Rita. Rita was by far the best looking creature in all the governor's county. There was a beautiful deer woman just over the hill, but no one knew that. By day, Rita scrubbed her tavern so clean you could eat off of it, which was fortunate as it was a place you indeed would be eating, since it was a tavern. By night, she served her customers with charm, grace, but mostly with drinks. Did I mention that Rita was married? Well, I am mentioning it now. Rita was married. Her husband's name was James, and he didn't do much, until he died. The smell of Mr. Dorbalmouse knocked him flat, and that, my friends, was that. Oh dear, the story has barely begun and already we've killed 2 major characters. Needless to say, Rita was deeply distressed by the whole thing, but 20 or so minutes later she realized she couldn't mourn forever and went to buy some cheese. Ah yes, don't worry dear reader, this time the mention of cheese will probably guide us to meeting our focal hero of the tale. Also, this is a good time to start a new chapter. Chapter 2, a new chapter. Rita entered the cheese shop with her guns blazing. I am speaking metaphorically, of course, by which I mean she entered the cheese shop quite determined to buy some cheese. This was because, just the night before, as her husband James was taking note of a weird smell in the room, she had invented a delicious new concoction, a cheddar cider. It was sure to be a hit with her patrons. After all, the governor's county only had 2 exports, cheese and grapes, and she couldn't possibly make a drink from a grape. But back to the cheese shop scene. Rita knocked on the counter loudly with her fist, causing the nearby cat to do absolutely nothing, as cats do. From behind the wall she heard a stir, as someone was crashing through piles of cheese to make their way towards her. Emerging gloriously from torn yellow curtains, an older man came into view. He was giant in stature with a long grey beard. Bobbing along and stuck within his beard were all manner of cheese crumbs and wedges wrapped tightly within his hairs, but yet he held even more cheeses on ropes pulled across his chest, with loops and provolone linked like sausages over one shoulder. His eyes were big, and his ears were bigger still. A smile of kindness erupted from his face as he locked eyes with Rita. My, the Kurds are kind to me this hour. Hello and welcome, he bellowed. Rita bowed low and promptly began to cry. The shop owner looked at her, perplexed. What did I say wrong? The barmaiden sniffed and snooted and finally answered. Forgive me, for my husband has just died and I'm out of Swiss. I'm going to pause now in the story to ask myself why Mr. Dorbalmouse went to the cellar in the governor's house for cheese if there was a cheese shop nearby. I think it's best that we overlook this glaring problem in the plot, don't you? Now, back to the story at hand. Rita purchased a large amount of cheese from the shop owner. She bought cheese wheels and cheese melts and cheese slices. She bought cheese whistles and cheese bread. She bought cheese paper and cheese sandwiches. There's cheese paper? Well, okay then. She bought so much cheese, in fact, that she had lost track of all she had obtained, and just dumped all the fromage into a large burlap sack for the return journey to the tavern. Goodbye, Rita, the shop owner called as he waved farewell. Goodbye, Daniel, she called back. His name was Murray, by the way. Overburdened by her treasure, Rita made her way home following the main road to the castle, but as it always happens, the road was now under repair. A man with a skinny mule was plowing up the dirt so that he could put down new cobblestone. 4 of his associates were standing by, watching him. The job would only take a few years to finish, but Rita was in a hurry, so she followed a detour sign that told her to take a different road to her left. Unfortunately, no one could read in the governor's county, so she went right instead. This mishap took her deep into the forest, where absolutely nothing of interest happened. Except something of interest did happen. As she trod on through the forest, a sack of cheese weighing her down, muttering complaints all the way, little did she know that danger lay just ahead. This danger was cunning and dangerous, and had one of those out-of-place eyebrow hairs that drives you nuts when you're talking to someone who has one. This danger was called Bernard, the big ugly lizard man who wears a blue cloak. Bernard didn't often have visitors in his house. This was because he lived outside. Also, he was rather fond of human flesh, which made him very unpopular. So, obviously, you can see the drama unfolding here. The beautiful but tired Rita huffing and puffing up the winding path as she approaches a certain doom. Bernard watching from a nearby tree, licking his lips. Oh, the tension is tense, is it not? At this point in time, we must pause again to ponder all the possibilities that can happen now in our story. 2 characters have died already. Surely a 3rd wouldn't hurt anything. Are we perhaps just reading this story because you want to see who will get the axe next? You are a little warped, do you know that? Well then, let's see what happens next. Bernard stepped from behind his hiding place, his eyebrow hair gleaming in the fading sun. "Dear madame, why must you pass through so fast?" he called with his eyes glimmering. "I must get home, Bernard, because, for one, it's getting late and I have customers to serve, and second, because you eat people," Rita replied. "A poppycock, balderdash, cold swallop! I won't hear these lies against my character," he detested. "For I, Bernard, the big ugly lizard man who wears a blue cloak, have completely reformed myself." Rita squinted suspiciously at him. "You have?" Bernard put a hand to his heart. "I have. I no longer prowl or pounce. I won't attack or bounce. I will not kill or maim or tear. I won't crush or even bite you anywhere. I promise I won't devour anyone." "My gosh, you've become a bore. If you aren't going to be in danger in this story, then I've come to all this way with 100 pounds of cheese for nothing," Rita grumbled. "I'm sorry, what? How do you know that he's supposed to be the danger of the story, Rita?" She boosted her sack further up her shoulders and turned with an angry grunt. But Bernard waved after her in a panic. "Wait, it's all a ruse. I intended to eat you, dear woman. I swear it," he cried. "It's all a trick, you see, a new angle. It worked on some guy yesterday. Oh, please stay." Rita sighed, her strength just about gone from the long adventure she had taken since she left home that morning. She turned back to face Bernard. "All right," she said, "but your part in the story better lead to an unexpected turn of events."
Oh, it will.
Bernard clapped and waggled his clawed finger to motion her to draw nearer.
Just wait until the next chapter.
Chapter 3, the next chapter. All looked quite dire for Rita. Bernard had her within his grasp. Surely it would just be mere moments before his jaws collapsed upon her head. Oh, what a horrible end for Rita. Needless to say, I am worried for her. But as luck would have it, miles and miles away, 20 years earlier, something amazing happened. 2 mugs of cheese, Gouda and a mozzarella, welcomed their first son into the world. I don't think I need to tell you his name. It was Dave. No one liked Dave. After that, their second son came forth, Richter the Cracked, just called Richter at that time. Richter spent his early life stealing cowbells and putting them on skunks. This way people always knew when danger was nearby. Needless to say, Richter was one smart mug of cheese. But all could not remain perfect forever, and suddenly the great skunk famine began. Richter found his world in array and he sought a new purpose. Fortunately, there was an opening in the governor's county for an adventurer at the time, and since he was a descendant of the 3 Grand Flagon Kings, he was boosted to the head of the line. Because as we are all quite aware, even in olden times, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Thus, the adventures of Richter began. He braved deep dungeons, he slayed the great beasts, he climbed the highest mountain peaks, he sailed around the world, despite the fact he didn't own a boat. Richter was truly the stuff of a legend. But did I mention the curse? Yes, fair readers, there is a curse, a fiendish and terrible curse. One morning, while Richter was in the governor's county, he came upon a witch named Witch. This witch had just pulled a pound cake from her oven when she then proceeded to start ingesting it. Right there on the front walk of her home. At once, Richter knew this creature was pure evil. Eating cake this early in the morning, and without ice cream? This was truly a fiend that needed to be vanquished. Richter jumped the fence and pulled his sword. "Would you like a pound of cake?" the witch offered. It looked quite delicious. Richter would not let himself be seduced into early morning cake, so he approached closer with his weapon at her throat. The witch began to sweat with a mouth full of crumbs. "I also make a mean scone if you want to wait." Now, no gentleman or gentleman could refuse a good scone, so Richter withdrew his sword and patiently waited for the witch to create these new buttery pastries. But what he didn't know was that the witch accidentally had bumped her table and had added within the mixture a vial of cursed liquid. See, I told you there was a curse. You were fair warned. The moment Richter ate of the scones, he fell into a deep sleep. The witch, baffled, finished her cake and proceeded to get a civil service job in a nearby town. As the years rolled by, all that remained of the witch's house was carried off by elves, and her garden became overgrown. This left only Richter, asleep in the forest, with no end to his dreaming in sight. But the story thankfully does not end here, for, as luck would have it, a giant man covered in cheese with big eyes and big ears wandered past the sleeping mug. In case you've forgotten, this was the cheese shop owner, Murray, sometimes called Bill. Unable to resist cheese of any kind, even a mug of the stuff, Murray took Richter to his shop and set him on a shelf. Here, Richter sat for many years until this very fateful day. You see, Rita's haste to gather up all the cheese she had purchased, she had swept a few things that did not belong to her into the sack as well. These items included the cat on the counter, a personalized pen, Murray's cash box, I think she'll be hearing about this one eventually, and last but not least, Richter himself, still deeply asleep. So now that our two stories have come together, let's discover the next to Rita and Richter in the climax chapter. Chapter 4, the climax chapter. It was the same hot winter day in the forest, and Mrs. Darblemouse was finally starting to get concerned. Just down the road, Rita was being drawn towards an almost certainly bloody and horrific end to her life. Bernard was just moments from taking her within his lizard jaws, and mere moments from trimming his eyebrows. Rita stood her ground. She was no damsel in distress, but simply a person who was pretty darn tired by this point. She pulled the burlap sack of cheese from her body and swung it hard with every last bit of strength she had left in her. An ear-shattering crack broke through the silent trees as the bag made contact with Bernard's shocked face. His teeth flew in all directions, falling like pebbles to the ground. His eyeballs dislodged and rolled into a nearby stream, and his jawbone turned completely around and planted itself on the back of his head. Bernard ran screaming into the woods, never to be seen again this week. His cries faded, and the forest once again fell soft and quiet. A cow walked by. Rita, still standing with her sack outstretched in her arms, stood wide-eyed at what had just happened. Surely no cheese in her back was hard enough for that kind of impact. As she placed her burlap sack upon the dirt and peeled it open, she was amazed to find Richter, the mug of cheese, inside, and looking quite dazed. He had awakened and the curse was finally lifted. Somewhere behind her desk, the witch looked up and nodded with a smile. But oh dear reader, look what was now upon his mug body. A giant and elegant crack! The very mark of a warrior. His hero's journey was finally complete. Richter the Cracked had emerged. Yes, it is true that Richter really didn't do anything important in the attack on Bernard. Just by Richter being where he was at the perfect time, he had saved Rita. The fates were with them. Richter and Richter, they talked and laughed and ate cheese until the sun went down. And finally they packed up their picnic and headed back to the tavern, where they were met with cheers of excitement. This is mostly because the guys had found out that Rita was now single. Really? As the night wore on into the early morning of the hours, the tavern remained alive in the castle courtyard with singing and dancing and cheddar cider. Oh, what a celebration! But like all parties of such proportion, eventually everyone sobers up and you have to go home. Before long, it was dawn. The sun began to rise steadily in the west, marking a fresh adventure on the horizon. A wind of a new direction began to blow with a more steady pace. It skidded across the ground and found its way between the floorboards of the governor's castle. Here, against all odds, they found the barely remaining body of Mrs. Darble Mouse. The wind carried the stench far beyond the borders of the castle, over the mountains, and deep within a dark cave where Evil slept. "What the heck is that smell?" said Evil, awakening with hellfire burning behind his eyes. Eventually, news of this great evil spread from town to town until it reached the ears of Richter the Cracked. He polished his sword and gathered some crumbs of bread to store in his mug. Wearing his best expression of courage, Richter once again set off to conquer the day. His story was not yet over. But for now, dear reader, we return to our own lives. So let us end this tale with one closing thought, shall we? Be we cracked or small or even dead, there's always a purpose to where we all are led. Be brave and strong, and lest we forget, fate isn't quite done with any of us. Just yet. The end. Well, that was a lovely story. Definitely a lovely story. Right before bedtime. Right before the horrors come crashing down.
As someone who loves to dive into a game's story, yeah, I don't know what to say about this cheesy madness. Maybe it's a sign to sometimes just stop and smell the Gouda and enjoy the randomness of the moment.